Hey there, history fans. Today we're diving into the wacky world of the US government, specifically why it looks like a messed up three-layer cake. The founding fathers, those dudes in powdered wigs, didn't just want to copy-paste the British monarchy. Nope, after fighting a whole revolution, they were all about that separation of powers life. See, after King George III and his bossy ways, the founding fathers were like, no more one-man shows. They decided to split the government's power into three separate branches. This way, no single person or group could become a tyrannical monster. It's like that old saying, too many cooks spoil the broth, but instead of broth, it's absolute power they were worried about spoiling. Each branch got its own job description, like a very official chore chart for running a country. They figured if you divide the power, you minimize the risk of someone going power hungry, because let's be real, history is full of rulers who let a little power go straight to their head. First up, we've got the legislative branch, also known as Congress. They're like the rule makers, the ones who spend their days arguing and debating over what laws the country needs. Think of them as the architects of democracy, building a framework for a functioning society, brick by legal brick. Next, there's the executive branch, with the president at the helm. Their job is to take those laws Congress makes and put them into action. They're like the construction crew, taking the blueprints from the architects and turning them into something real. Last but not least, we have the judicial branch, the judges and courts. Their job to make sure everyone's playing by the rules. They're like the referees of the government, blowing the whistle on anyone who steps out of line or bends the rules too far. Now you might be thinking, okay, but what's stopping one branch from getting too big for its britches? That's where the founding fathers' genius really shines through. They created a system of checks and balances, which is basically like a game of government rock, paper, scissors. The legislative branch can make laws, but the executive branch can veto them. The executive branch can appoint judges, but the legislative branch has to approve them. And if the judicial branch thinks a law is unconstitutional, they can strike it down. It's a beautiful, complicated dance of power, designed to keep everyone in check and prevent any one branch from becoming too dominant. This system has been tested time and again throughout US history, but it's managed to hold strong, mostly. It's a testament to the founding fathers' foresight and their commitment to creating a government that truly serves the people. But where did the founding fathers get this revolutionary idea of separating powers? Well, they weren't just pulling ideas out of thin air. They were big fans of a French philosopher named Montesquieu. Montesquieu, I was all about liberty and limiting government power. I argued that the best way to protect freedom was to divide government into separate branches, each with its own responsibilities and the ability to check the others. This way, no one person or group could become too powerful and threaten individual liberty. The founding fathers ate this up like it was a hot pasty on a cold day. They saw in Montesquieu's ideas a blueprint for a government that was both powerful and limited, capable of protecting individual rights while still getting things done. Now, changing the Constitution isn't as easy as ordering a pizza. It's more like trying to bake a cake while riding a roller coaster blindfolded. It takes a supermajority vote in both houses of Congress and ratification by 3/4 of the states. That's a whole lot of hoops to jump through. And that's a good thing. The founding fathers made it intentionally difficult to tinker with the Constitution because they didn't want it to be subject to the whims of every passing political fad. They wanted it to be a stable foundation for a lasting democracy. But here's the thing, even though messing with the separation of powers is hard, it's not impossible. And history has shown us that when one branch gains too much power, it can threaten the very fabric of democracy. So why is all this important? Because the separation of powers is like the secret sauce of American democracy. It's what keeps the government from turning into a tyrannical hot mess. It ensures that no one person or group can seize absolute power and run roughshod over everyone else. It's a system designed to protect the rights of the people, to give everyone a voice, and to ensure that the government serves the people, not the other way around. And that's something worth fighting for, or at the very least understanding. So Next time you hear about Congress debating a law, the president signing an executive order, or the Supreme Court making a ruling, remember the founding fathers and their genius idea of dividing power. It's messy, it's complicated, but it's the foundation of a free and just society.